Hi, I'm Michael Polsler, and I'd like to welcome you to Tom Ferry's Business by Design. I'm super excited about this program for many reasons, but most of all because it's been customized to the European marketplace. We at RE/MAX Europe have worked closely with Tom and his team to make sure that the content reflects the nuances of the European marketplace. We've put a lot of effort into making sure that it's all about how you do business and bringing you ideas on a weekly basis as you go through the program and put them into practice that will help you change your business, help you better serve your customers, and help you change the way real estate is sold in the European marketplace. So enjoy, use and practice what you learn, and I look forward to hearing the great results that I know you're all going to achieve.
Hello and welcome to Business by Design. I'm Tom Ferry, and on behalf of myself and everyone at RE/MAX around the world, we want to congratulate you for taking this course. As you know, RE/MAX is committed to change how homes are sold in your marketplace. And the good news is, every day and in every way, we're getting better and better and making it happen by following through on our three primary missions. Number one is a commitment to put the client first, to serve the customer first and foremost, beyond our own needs, which means we do whatever it takes to serve the client and help them buy and sell real estate. Number two is to constantly innovate ourselves and our business to serve the client at a better level, causing them to have a wow experience when buying and selling real estate. And the last one, number three, is cooperation, cooperation, cooperation. Simply put, we are committed to making buying and selling a faster experience by cooperating together to serve the customer. And that's exactly why we built this new training for you called Business by Design. Now, were you aware that over 90% of all small businesses, when they get started, have no idea that they're going to fail? 90% of all small businesses, not just real estate professionals, but every business around the world inevitably fails. And they fail because they simply didn't design their business the right way and take the right actions. There are 5 primary failures that people make that cause their business not to succeed. I'd like you to think of these not as an affirmation, but simply mistakes to avoid. You know, if we know by going down road A, it's going to take us longer or be a more painful experience than going down road B, where it's going to be, say, easy street and the path to success. Once we know that there's a difference, we can make the right choice. You see, after nearly 30 years of working with real estate professionals and small businesses around the world, I see the same 5 mistakes happen day in and day out, and then people scratch their head wondering why they put themselves into this business and it didn't work out. My hope, as it is RE/MAX's hope, is that you use these 5 as mistakes to avoid and simply do the opposite, putting yourself in the best possible position to win and make the money you deserve in this extraordinary business called real estate. So the number one mistake that small businesses make, including real estate, is they fail to run their business like a business. Now, I don't know if you owned a business before you got into this one, but what we see is that people get into this business because they like houses, they like people. Maybe they got fired from their last profession and they were looking for a new place to go to work. And the thought of selling homes was intriguing. Here's the reality. What we know today in small businesses is that there are two types of people. There are people that are interested in success, and there's people that are committed to success. Think about those two words yourself. Has there ever been a time in your life when you did something and you were interested in it versus you were committed to it? It could have been a business, it could have been a relationship, it could have been learning a new language. Could you imagine trying to learn a new language but only being interested versus committed? When you think about small business and you look at that word interested, here's what happens. You get into the real estate business and you're interested in success. People that are interested only do a little bit, and they only do what's convenient. Think about it. I'm interested in being successful, but I don't want to do everything. And we find that more often than not, they only do what they're supposed to do when it's convenient for them to make phone calls, to do their marketing, to take the right actions. And what we know is that is a guaranteed pathway to failure. We can't be interested, my friends. We must be committed. Think about a time in your life when you were absolutely committed. People that are committed follow through and do whatever it takes, no matter what, until the mission is accomplished. You're in the real estate business, and I have to ask you, are you interested in being successful, or are you committed to building a great business by design, serving lots of customers, and making the money you deserve? The number one reason why people fail is they think being interested in success is enough. Let's look at number two. They failed to develop a business plan or a roadmap to get from point A to point B. Years ago, my family and I were in a place called Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and we had an opportunity to go river rafting. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this before, but I was told that the water was going to be relatively rough and the rapids could be quite dangerous. We had a choice that day to go on our own or to hire a guide. And as you can imagine, as a father and looking at my wife, I figured the right move was to hire a guide. I remember watching a few people go out there on their own. I would call that going out without a plan, not knowing which place to turn, when to row extra hard, and when safety was right there and available. We, on the other hand, had the guide, that plan, that experience. We knew when to go right, when to go left, when to paddle hard, and when the water was going to be calm. And as you can imagine, because we had that guide, because we had that plan, not only did we have a safe experience, we achieved our goal, which was to have a great time. You see, too often we get into a business like this, whether it's real estate or starting a restaurant, and we go in because we're passionate and we're excited about helping people or selling houses or the possibility of making all this money. But what we forget is business is math. Business is math. It's all about the numbers. And if I'm running my business by default, the opposite of by design, I'm just running from one opportunity to the next, never knowing what works, what doesn't, and am I getting one step closer to my goal. We've given you inside this program a very simple business plan that I'm going to ask you at the end to follow through and fill out to get you exactly from the income level you are today to the desire you have, and to do it by design. Let's look at the third reason why people fail in this business. They simply never understood the importance of marketing themselves to a wide variety of potential buyers and sellers to earn their business. You see, businesses fail every day because they don't attract enough clients. It's that simple. Whether you sell gasoline or you sell pizzas at a restaurant, Every business needs more customers coming in through the door, which requires marketing. The challenge for the vast majority of people that come into the real estate business, they have no experience marketing whatsoever. Then they have no plan, and they're only slightly interested in doing what it takes to be successful. Well, my friends, that is a recipe for disaster. It is a recipe for failure. Over the next 10 weeks, we're going to show you demonstratable, proven pieces that will allow you to market yourself effectively, whether it's by making phone calls or sending emails or sending out direct mail or through social media channels, so you can engage with the type of prospects you want and market the RE/MAX message and your message effectively to cause them to choose you to be their exclusive real estate professional. At the end of the day, marketing matters. Let's look at the number 4 mistake that causes people to fail, and that is, simply put, they don't know what to say. You see, knowledge equals confidence, and ignorance creates fear. If I don't know what to say to a for sale by owner or to an open listing, then I'm not going to call them and make a great presentation to convince them that they should list their home exclusively with me. On the flip side, if I know what to say, and I know that a percentage of them will respond this way or that way, I'm going to make the calls with tremendous confidence because I know a percentage of them are going to say yes to me. My friends, that's called selling skills. And when you look around the world at the greatest RE/MAX agents, the one thing the very best have in common is they know what to say. They can call people with absolute confidence and book an appointment. They can call prospects and generate leads. They can go on presentations and convince those potential sellers to sign exclusive agreements with them because they have the skills. If you lack the skills, if you're not comfortable being in front of customers, if you're not comfortable making phone calls, I know why. It's fear of rejection. What if I say something bad? What if I look bad? What if they say no to me? The challenge you're going to have, if any of those thoughts are going through your head, is the failure process has already begun. The easiest way to reverse it throughout the 10 weeks with me in this course is to practice the scripts and dialogues and learn what to say. Remember, when I know what to say, I have confidence. When I don't know what to say, I have fear. And there is simply no action taken when you're in a state of fear. I've got to get you confident as quickly as possible so you can call the right number of people, follow up on your marketing, follow your plan, and ultimately earn the money you deserve. Let's look at the 5th reason why most people fail. If I was sitting with you face to face, I would look you right in the eye and say, your head is a scary place to be. A few of my friends have even said to me, when you get stuck in your head, your business is dead. Think about it. In this business, so much of what we do is our mindset. You've heard the phrase, have a positive attitude. Well, in this business and in all businesses, that positive mental attitude is an absolute must. It is the difference between you making the phone call, taking the action, practicing, writing your plan versus not. You see, the vast majority of people I speak to around the world all say the same thing. I've got to fix what's going on up here. I've got to strengthen my mental toughness because in this business, there's a lot of stress. There can be a lot of anxiety. And when you're in your head, your business is dead. I got to get you out of your head and into the right action, doing the things you need to do every day to absolutely win. So what I want you to do right now, as we just get started in this class, is take a moment and pause this session and be honest. Tell the person to your right or left, are there any of the 5 failure points that might stop you from being as successful as you want to be? I believe that being aware of your faults and your issues is the first step to success and abundance. If you can own it, we can do something about it. Go ahead and pause this right now, share with your buddies, and come right back to me. So welcome back. Now, whether you said, I don't have issues with any of the 5, or you were guilty of all 5, you now have to make a choice. Remember when I asked you earlier, are you interested or are you committed to being successful? I'm going to assume, because you're sitting inside this room watching this training, that you are absolutely committed to run your business like a business, to create your business plan and follow it, to do the RE/MAX marketing that's going to cause you to stand out and be the obvious agent of choice. You're going to learn what to say and improve your confidence and your skills to be a great salesperson. And lastly, you're going to work on your mindset to make sure that you can persevere through the tough spots, follow through, and take action. If you say yes to all 5 of those, then you are making the commitment to build your business by design. So with that commitment, let's begin. Every time I sit down with a business professional like yourself, it starts by asking a few questions. Number 1, what is your financial goal? How much money do you want to earn in the next 12 months? Inside your workbook, I want you to write down a number. Now I know when I ask this question around the world, I'll say, how much money? And people will say things like, I want to learn a lot. Or they'll say, I want to earn more than I made last year. Here's the challenge, my friends. In the back of our mind, we have this beautiful little device called the reticular activating system. And here's how it works. You may have heard of something called the law of attraction, which is another way people describe this thing that every human being has. Here's how it works. When you decide, for example, that you want a new black BMW, and let's just say that's the car of your dreams, well, what begins to happen everywhere you go? What car do you see everywhere? We both know the answer. You're like, there's a black BMW, there's a black BMW, there's a black BMW. That's because your mind is wired to get exactly what it is that you want. So the more clear and specific you are, the more you attract what it is that you're going after. So if you say to me, I want to earn a few dollars or make a little more money, someone could hand you $1 and you've achieved your goal. But if you said to me, I want to earn $100,000 in the next 12 months. Now we have a very clear and specific mission. So you must be clear and specific on the dollar amount you're committed to earn. Once you do that, step number 2 is to write yourself a simple commitment letter. It's a letter where you tell yourself what you're committed to, what you are willing to do, as in whatever it takes to earn that money. You might include things like putting in more hours. You might put in things like learning what to say. You might add in becoming a great marketer. You might add in becoming a great salesperson. But once you decide how much money you want to make, you and I both know you're currently earning exactly what your current commitment and skill level demands. So what will you commit to? Who will you become? What will you do to become even better to earn the money you deserve? So step 1, set that goal. Step 2, write yourself that commitment letter. And then step 3, write this down, your motivation matters. Your motivation matters. As a business coach for over 2 decades, we've learned that people are motivated by one of 2 forces. Either the force of pleasure. When I achieve these goals, I'm going to make this money and my life is going to be amazing. I'm going to do this and this and this. I'm going to buy this and this and this. I'm going to save this much money and we're going to go on these amazing vacations. And that pleasure drives you to go take the right action. But people are also motivated by pain, right? If I don't follow through, what's going to happen? When you think about 90% of the people that get into the business fail, I would be thinking that pain might be a greater driver of motivation for you. Now, because I'm not sitting with you one-on-one and I can't ask the questions to determine which one will motivate you the most, I ask every student to list out what are 5 of the biggest benefits you will experience when you earn that money. Who in your life, who's going to have a better life, a better experience, less stress, more savings, more vacations, whatever the positive outcomes are by you earning that money, you want to list it out. As you're sitting here, you're probably thinking of more than 5, and it's 100% okay to have 10 or 15 big motivational positive forces to work towards. But then I want you to answer the other question. What are the negative consequences for not following through? What is the pain I will experience if I don't earn that money? What's the pain I'm going to experience if I fail? I guarantee if you take the time to be very honest about the pain, you might write down some things like, I'll have to go get a job, or I'll have to move home and live with my parents, or, I'm always going to suffer financially, or I'll never be able to get married, or my spouse will be upset. What we know is this: the more pain you can associate with failure, the more likely you are to take the kind of action you need to take. So, as we begin to build your business by design, it's really important that you set a clear, specific financial goal. So we've got a target to go after. You've got to get present to, in a simple letter to yourself, about what you need to do, what you're committed to make that number happen, and then the driving forces of both the positive and the negative for not following through. And when you do that, you're going to feel that emotion, that motive to go out and take the kind of action you need to take to build your business and be a part of the 10% that not only make it, but they succeed wildly. So let's take a look at the next step, and that is the basics of your business plan. In your notes, I want you to write down the following. Business is math. That's right. Business is math. For decades, we have been tracking and measuring agents just like you in terms of their performance. You see, I know that every 100 people you speak to, you'll make a sale. Now, here's what's exciting about that when you're thinking about building your business plan. Let's say, for example, you want to earn $50,000. and your average commission is $5,000. Just using those numbers as an example. That means you've got to make 10 sales in order to make that happen. Well, understanding that business is math, what does that mean? I have to talk to, 10 sales times 100, 1,000 people. Now I know as I say that, you might start to get a little nervous, like 1,000 people, that's a lot of people. I know, but you don't have to do it tomorrow. There's a formula, but that means 1,000 people you need to speak to over the next year to guarantee that you make 10 sales. You see, this business is just math. It is, my friends, a numbers game. So, your assignment today is to fill out that basic business plan, remembering the numbers. So again, think about the formula. Every 100 people you talk to, you make 1 sale. If you want 20 sales, you know you need to talk to 2,000 people. What I recommend, as you'll see inside the plan, is it's not 365 days a year. As a matter of fact, most agents only work 10 months a year. So if you said, I want 20 sales a year, I say to you, that's 2,000 conversations, that's 2,000 people you need to talk to, divided by 10 months, which means 200 people every single month, which means if I divide that by 20 work days as an example, all I need to do is talk to 10 people every day. Now, what if I told you the business is just that simple? You talk to 10 people a day, 20 days a month, 10 months out of the year, and you have 20 commission checks by the end of the year. This business is just math. Now, let's go back to the 5 reasons why people fail. Do you remember the last one? It was mindset and positive mental attitude and the ability to take action regardless of what's going on up here. I just told you your success is predicated, or even better, guaranteed based upon this formula. When you make the calls, you win. When you talk to the right number of people day in and day out for the course of the year, you achieve your goals. And if you don't, because you got into your head, your business is dead. It's that simple. The failure rate is 90%, my friends, 90%. Now I know you might be saying, Tom, I don't like hearing 90%. Let's talk about the 10%. Well, let me remind you, the top 10%, they make the calls. They follow their plan. They are committed to running their business like a business. And they understand that all business is innovation and marketing, so they're doing all the right things, which is my expectation of you. So, as we wrap up this first session, I know I shared a lot, but I want to give you some action you can take between now and next week to immediately get you on the path towards achieving your goal. So let's take a look. There's 5 actions that I want you to take between now and next week's session. Number 1, very simple. I want you to get clear on exactly how much money you want to make. Number 2, I want you to write that letter like we discussed about what you're willing to do, your commitments to build your business. Number 3, list out the positive benefits and the negative consequences for not earning that money. Number 4, I want you to develop tonight that business plan so you're clear on the roadmap to get you from point A to point B. Think of that business plan as your guide. Just like the person that helped us go down that river, it was nice to have a plan in place to know exactly which way to go, right or left, to make it to our goal. The last thing I want you to do, number 5, is to start making that number of contacts every day. So if you declared, I want to make 20 sales, we know you've got to talk to 10 people a day. Now, at this point in the training, I don't care who you call. You can call anyone you like, open listings, for sale by owners, or maybe just start easy by reaching out to the people that you already know, talking to them about the real estate business and perhaps what their goals are. Here's the good news. By immediately taking action, you're going to notice where your head is, where your mindset is. And if it's uncomfortable for you, don't worry. Go inside the workbook, find all the scripts and dialogues, read them a few times, which will give you the courage to use that script as a guide to make great phone calls and elicit a good response. And then the great news is, next week, I'm going to teach you the very best strategies on how to become an appointment setting machine. That's right, you're going to learn what separates someone that sells 3 homes a year and 30 homes a year. And the difference is the ability to get on the phone, produce results, and book appointments. And that's what's coming next week. So get into action, write your plan, get clear on your goals, know the positives and the negatives, and then get on the phone and start making some calls. I'll look forward to seeing you next week.